For the home, kitchen and beyond, Whirlpool manufactures appliances that homeowners have come to trust. Even a trustworthy appliance requires occasional maintenance or repair. However, if you're in need of Whirlpool appliance repair from experienced professionals, your local appliance helper can help. Whirlpool Refrigerator not cooling. Condenser fan motor. The condenser fan motor draws air through the condenser coils and over the compressor. If the condenser fan motor is not working properly, the refrigerator won't cool properly. To determine if the fan motor is defective, first check the fan blade for obstructions. Next, try turning the fan motor blade by hand. If the blade does not spin freely, replace the condenser fan motor. If no obstructions are present and the fan blade spins freely, use a multimeter to test the fan motor for continuity. If the condenser fan motor does not have continuity, replace it. Whirlpool water dispenser is not working. Water inlet valve. The water inlet valve opens to supply water to the dispenser. If the water inlet valve is defective, or if the water pressure is too low, the water valve will not open. The valve requires at least 20 psi to function properly. Make sure that the water pressure to the valve is at least 20 psi. If the water pressure is sufficient, use a multimeter to test the water inlet valve for continuity. If the water inlet valve does not have continuity, replace it. Whirlpool ice maker not working. Water inlet valve. The water inlet valve is an electrically controlled valve that opens to supply water to the dispenser and ice maker. If the water inlet valve is defective, or if it has insufficient pressure, it won't allow water to flow through. As a result, the ice maker won't make ice. The valve requires at least 20 psi to function properly. Make sure that the water pressure to the valve is at least 20 psi. If the water pressure is sufficient, use a multimeter to check for power to the water inlet valve. If the water inlet valve has sufficient pressure and is getting power, but the ice maker won't fill with water to make ice, replace the water inlet valve. Whirlpool refrigerator ice maker is not dispensing ice. Dispenser control board. The dispenser control board governs most of the functions of the dispenser system. If the control board is faulty, it may stop supplying power to the entire dispenser system. If only one dispenser part is not working, test each of the dispenser components before testing the control board. It is more likely that a single part has failed. If the entire dispenser system is not working, the control board is more likely to be at fault. Whirlpool refrigerator not defrosting. Defrost control board. The defrost control board determines how often to run the defrost cycle. If the board fails, the refrigerator will not go into the defrost cycle. Before replacing the defrost control board, first test the defrost heater and defrost thermostat. If the defrost heater and defrost thermostat are working properly, the defrost control board is likely defective. Whirlpool refrigerator is noisy or loud. Fan blade. If the refrigerator is noisy or loud, especially when one of the doors are opened, either the evaporator or condenser fan blade may be at fault. First, check out the evaporator fan blade in the freezer behind the back panel. Try turning it by hand. If the fan blade does not turn freely, check to see if the blade is rubbing against something or if something is caught in the blade. Additionally, check the condenser fan blade in the back underside of the refrigerator to determine if it has any obstructions. Whirlpool refrigerator defrost drain clogged. Drain heater. Some refrigerators are equipped with drain heaters. Drain heaters prevent the water in the drain pan from refreezing and clogging the defrost drain. If your drain heater is defective or is not in the proper position, the defrost drain might freeze over. Whirlpool refrigerator is not cooling, but the freezer is working. Evaporator fan motor. The evaporator fan motor draws cold air over the evaporator coils and circulates it throughout the freezer. If the evaporator fan is not working, the freezer or refrigerator will not cool adequately. To determine if the evaporator fan motor is defective, try turning the fan blade by hand. If the fan blade does not turn freely, replace the fan motor. Additionally, if the motor is unusually noisy, replace it. Finally, if the motor does not run at all, use a multimeter to test the motor windings for continuity. If the windings do not have continuity, replace the evaporator fan motor. Whirlpool refrigerator is leaking water. Water filter head. The water filter head might be cracked, or the seal may be torn or missing. Inspect the water filter housing for cracks. If you discover any cracks in the water filter housing, replace it. Whirlpool Refrigerator freezing food. Temperature control thermostat. The temperature control thermostat directs voltage to the compressor, evaporator fan motor, and condenser fan motor if applicable. If the temperature control thermostat is not working properly, it may cause the refrigerant system to run longer than necessary. As a result, the refrigerator will be too cold. To determine if the thermostat is defective, rotate the thermostat from the lowest setting to the highest setting and listen for a click. If the thermostat clicks, it is not likely defective. If the thermostat does not click, use a multimeter to test the thermostat for continuity. If the temperature control thermostat does not have continuity at any setting, replace it. Whirlpool Refrigerator ice maker overflowing. Water inlet valve. The water inlet valve requires a minimum of 20 psi to shut off properly. If the water pressure is too low, the valve may not close fully once the power is shut off. As a result, the valve will leak water into the ice maker and cause the ice maker to overflow. Check the water pressure to determine if it is at least 20 psi. If the water pressure is sufficient, the water inlet valve is likely defective. The valve may not shut off all the way or may be stuck open, causing water to leak through the valve. If the water pressure is sufficient, but the ice maker is still overflowing, replace the water inlet valve. Whirlpool refrigerator light not working. Light bulb. The light bulb might be out. Replace the light bulb before replacing any of the other parts associated with the light bulb. Whirlpool refrigerator runs constantly. Door gasket. If the refrigerator runs constantly, the door gasket may be torn or defective. Or if the door is not shutting tightly, warm air can enter the refrigerator and cause the evaporator coils to ice over. This happens because humid air from the room is drawn into the refrigerator through the opening at the gasket. As the humidity comes in contact with the cold evaporator coils, it condenses and freezes. Normally the defrost system removes this frost and ice. However, if the door gasket is defective, the evaporator coils ice over too quickly and the defrost cycle cannot keep up.